So hey guys, I am back with another quick rehab. This one I just need to try to remove the paint off of this bag and restore the shape. As you can see, she smashed in on the sides as if I set something on top of her. The bottom is saggy and I just have not been able to restore it to its original shape. I also got paint on the front and the bottom of the bag. As you can see, the sides are also a little dirty and faded. There's a loose thread and a pin mark somewhere on there as well. So I'm just getting some lukewarm water with a little Dawn. We'll see if this pin mark and paint will come off. Hopefully it will. This is my first attempt of cleaning this bag. Guys, I got this bag probably around 2003. And back then, I wasn't really up on Coach like that, so I didn't really know the difference between retail and outlet pieces, or that there was even a difference to begin with. And so my mother just happened to be in town and we were out shopping and we stopped in the outlet, and this bag, I was just drawn to it. I mean, the color, the leather, I just thought it was beautiful. And again, this was over 20 years ago. I think I paid about $80 for the bag, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I didn't know what I was getting when I got it. I just knew that I liked it. And of all the bags that I've purchased from Coach that I've bought and sold, this is the one Coach bag that I've had the longest. And even though it's probably been a good 15 years since I've worn it, I've never had the desire to get rid of it because it still fits my style, my aesthetic. It's still the perfect size for me. I still love the color. It's still me, unlike a lot of the other bags that I've grown out of or that just no longer fit my style or lifestyle. This bag still fits me. So I'm going to try to bring her back to her glory. I'm using moderate pressure. I don't want to rub too hard along these edges because I don't want to damage the leather. The leather is probably a little thin around that piping, so I want to make sure that it stays intact. So this bag has just really been neglected. The reason I even got paint on it was probably because this is back in 2006. We had purchased a condo and we were in the process of painting some rooms, and I was painting a room and I was rushing through it, and I didn't put plastic down on everything like I should have. And I think this bag was just laying around somewhere and it just got paint on it. And again, so the paint has been on this bag since 2006. I don't know if the protective coating, whatever gloss they put on this leather, kept the paint from absorbing into the leather, or if I'm going to be able to get it out, but we'll see. So the water's a little dirtier than I thought it was, surprisingly. I didn't use gloves because I'm the only person who's owned this bag. So I know what's been in it, so I just didn't really feel the need to protect my hands like I would if it was something that I had purchased pre-loved. But I still didn't expect the water to be quite that dirty. So we're going to go ahead and rinse this. We want to get all of the soap out of this. I don't want the bag to dry with like soap residue. I've already submerged it in water and scrubbed it with a brush. So this leather has been abused enough for the rest of his life probably. So I just want to make sure that when it is not drying with soap in it. So we want to rinse it out really well. Make sure there's no remaining soap or debris in this bag. So now I'm just trying to squeeze out as much water as possible. The one thing about this coach leather is that it definitely absorbs water. Like, I could squeeze for an hour and there will still be water coming out of this bag, which is why it's important that you let it dry for a good 24 hours before moving on to the next step. So I'm going to squeeze out as much as I can with this one rag. And then I'm going to stuff it just like I did the black bag and let it sit overnight. And I'm going to stuff it full, but I don't want to stuff it too full. I want to stuff it full enough where it holds a nice shape. But I don't want to stuff it so full that I'm stretching the leather and stretching it out of shape. I know the edges look really dirty right now, but I think that's just because the bag is wet. I think it will lighten up over time. But see how flat the bottom is now? So I'm hoping that it will dry like that. So now it's time to condition the bag. So I'm using the Saphir leather cream. I really like this brand. Now it is pricey. This jar was probably about $13. But one of the main ingredients in this product is mink oil. So it is super rich and a little goes a long way. So unless you restore bags for a living, this jar will last you a good while. And as you can see, I chose a pigmented cream instead of using just a clear white, because I wasn't sure how much damage I would do to the color of this leather by washing it and scrubbing it. And so I wanted to get a pigmented leather cream just in case. But I could have used just a regular clear cream and probably gotten the same result. But we are going to see if it does anything for the edges that are a little faded. And as you can see, this isn't an exact match. Like, this cream is way more blue than the bag. It almost makes my bag look slate, but it's blending in quite nicely. So this vintage coach leather is just delicious, guys. That's the only way I can describe it. Like, it's just so freaking good. So I want to make sure though that I got cream on the entire surface of the bag. So I'm just trying to do a little section at a time. The one thing I will say about this leather cream is that when you initially apply it, it does feel kind of thick, greasy, maybe even slightly tacky. But that feeling wears off within a few minutes. You just need to rub it in well and allow it to absorb into the leather. And then once you buff it, the leather feels normal. I'm just making sure to get every side. And once I have this bag coated, I will let this sit probably for 30 minutes to an hour before I'll move on to the next step. This, I will say, along with my bandits, are forever bags. Like, this is definitely a forever bag. I will never sell this bag. And if I could get this same bag in like a camel color, I don't know if Coach made it in camel or whatever color they called it, but like if I could get it in like a brown or cognac color for a decent price, I would definitely jump on it. But I want to go ahead and get this strap. Even though I didn't really brush the strap, I still submerged it in water. So I want to treat it the same way I treated the bag. So this is the next day, and as you can see, the bag is still stuffed. I still have those rags in the bag, but the lumps will, I'm not worried about it making permanent indentations in the leather. I know they'll come out, but I left them in there because it just helps me, apply the pressure that I need to really buff this leather. And I'm using a horsehair brush that I got off Amazon. And we just gonna do this to every side of the bag, front, back, side to side, and bottom. And I probably spent about, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that. I probably spent about maybe 10 or 15 minutes buffing. But it didn't really take long for me to get to the point where I felt satisfied with the way, the sheen and the feel of the leather. So that cream, it made the edges look better. Like, it didn't completely re-dye the edges, but I can definitely tell the difference. Spending a little extra time on the bottom of this bag. This leather is just like butter, and this color, Coach knew what they were doing. So, okay guys, so these are polishing cloths by Cape Cod. I also got these off Amazon, and I keep a couple of packs of these in my handbag care and maintenance arsenal because they are perfect for vintage Louis Vuitton pieces. Like, they are so good at getting the tarnish off of the original brass hardware that Louis Vuitton used to put on their bags. That hardware would get really dark and tarnished over time, and these wipes right here have those zippers and rivets and grommets on those old LV pieces looking so shiny and new, it's ridiculous. So I always keep these on hand. Now, I don't see any tarnish on the silver hardware on this bag, but I did get some of the leather cream on it, so I'm just using these cloths to get the leather cream off. And I'm also going to run it over the zipper just in case there's cream on the zipper. As you can see, the hardware is relatively clean. There's not really a lot of tarnish. But I'm still going to run it over the zipper pull, and make sure I'm getting all of that leather cream off. But guys, if you have an old Louis Vuitton piece with brass hardware and you get some of these, you'll be surprised how much black and green gunk comes off of that hardware, and how shiny you can get that hardware to look if you're just willing to put in a little time and elbow grease. I've already done that to my remaining vintage LV piece. I didn't have a channel when I did it. Otherwise, I definitely would have recorded it and uploaded it for you guys to see. But who knows, maybe one day I'll get another vintage piece. So here's the finished product, guys. I was able to get off the paint and the pen mark. As you can see, the bottom is completely flat. The sides are not smashed in. Now, it is still full right now, but I'm going to take these towels out. So this is what it looks like without the towels in. Comment down below, let me know what you think, and thank you again for watching. And don't forget, if you're gonna buy it anyway, you may as well save a few coins. Peace.